This is West Africa Weekly, a live series brought to you by Lynx and Arbitration, where we talk about oil and gas news, projects, and developments that you can sink your teeth into. Here are your hosts, Greg and Arvie. So, this is our, which episode is this? I think this is episode 14. But, today is Thursday, July the 29th. Arvie is in Milan right now at the moment, not able to be here with us, but we look forward to what she has to add for next week's show. So, let's get into it. Here's our rundown. We'll talk about our oil prices just for a moment. Top 5 largest oil and gas projects in Africa by investment. Dana Gas wins arbitration. Nigeria seeks funding for pipeline after China backs out. And Silwana Diamond to explore offshore Guinea-Bissau. So if you're just joining us, thanks for coming on. We try to do this once a week, but we been lagging a little bit here lately. But so let's get into it. So for our oil prices, that is for our WTI US side, it is $73.59. For the Brent, it is 76 and a nickel there, 76.05. So the only other thing to mention here, mentioned it this morning on output. Listen to me. That's actually an old brand we used to have, but over time. API data released July 27th showed U.S. crude oil stocks fell by 4.73 million barrels in the week ending July the 23rd. That's the only note for the oil price. Not a whole lot of change there. Well, other than there's a big draw where we had a huge increase last week. So, it's in the numbers of playing around with the scales and the charts, but it's good to see that there is some stock being removed there. So hopefully that gets sorted out. But right, so let's move into our market news. This was something I thought was very interesting, but it's the top 5 largest oil and gas projects in Africa by investment. These are, starting with Tanzania, the LNG liquefaction plant. This is a $30 billion project that's led by Shell. The Rovuma LNG, I'm going to pronounce some of these wrong, but Rovuma LNG project. This is a $30 billion project led by ExxonMobil. The Mozambique LNG. It's a $20. Let's do LNG for 20. This is a $20 billion project led by Total. The Odajabitan Gas Park. This is a $20 billion project fully owned by Nigerian Petroleum Corporation. The Zaba and Etan Development. This is a $13.5 billion offshore development. This is being led by Shell, Eni, and Egypt. Those are your largest projects in Africa by investment. Next up is Dana Gas wins an arbitration here. Anyone that is familiar with this knows that Dana Gas put its assets in Egypt up for sale a bit of time back. First buyers up to the plate was IPR Wastani Petroleum. According to the claim, IPR Wastani was not able to complete a number of conditions prior to the transaction by the long stop date of April 14, 2021. Obviously, if these conditions were not met, then Dana would want to terminate the agreement. IPR Wastani disputed Dana's claim and filed for arbitration. Well, it came back, and Dana Gas has been awarded a win in the case. They have since decided not to sell the assets and will continue to operate them. So glad to see Dana back in the game there. Next one up is Nigeria seeks funding for pipeline after China backs out. So the NNPC is reaching out publicly, or made a statement publicly, for investment in their AKK gas pipeline project, stating the investment is in the value of $1 billion USD. This is coming about after China lenders pledged to provide the funds and then failed to come to the table after NNPC started construction. I mean, here for me, this looks like a case of someone thinking it was there and then COVID hit and things slowed down. Although some pledges can be made, it's harder to follow up when there's world-changing events, stuff that you can't foresee. But NNPC are still speaking with the lenders and trying to get it sorted out. Next one up on the list is the Silwana Diamond. Looks like they'll be exploring offshore Guinea-Bissau. Silwana Diamond out of the UAE has executed an agreement with the 88 Energy in Guinea-Bissau. So for those that do not know where Guinea-Bissau is, it is between Guinea and Senegal on the west coast. This agreement covers the offshore exploration of fields 4 and 5, where the potential reserves sit at 3 billion barrels of recoverable crude. Silwana shares will be at 50% of the recoverable reserves. So those are our top news and articles for this week for West Africa. There was a couple more in there. There was another one about Recon Africa, buying out Renaissance. That one's kind of been on the plate there for the last 3 or 4 months. That finally went through, as well as Recon finishing up their second well. So looks like they have some hydrocarbon architecture there, and looks like they've gotten Namibia on board, and they'll be doing some more seismic work. We spoke last week about Recon. So that was all for West Africa for this week. Anybody have any questions here? Let's see. We got in Peru, got the UK. We got some EG. Thanks everybody for coming to the show. And if there's no other questions, I'm your host, Greg Williams, and this is West Africa Weekly, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. You've been watching West Africa Weekly, a live series brought to you by Lynx and Arvi Core Nahar. Your hosts have been Greg and Arvi. For sponsorship opportunities, send us an email at info@riglynx.com. Tune in next Thursday at 8 a.m. CST for another live episode.